Welcome and good afternoon to everyone. Thank you very much for making our time for today's webinar on study in Germany. I hope you all are very excited and ready to learn more about studying in Germany. So, without any further delays, let's look into some of the reasons why students may choose Germany as their preferred study destination. Now, there are around 15 German universities in the top 200 worldwide, and they're offering almost 1,500 plus study programs completely taught in English. With regards to the public and private universities available in Germany, the education they offer is of at most high standards, which students can later benefit from anywhere around the world. German economy is one of the strongest economy in Europe, ranking number one in Europe and number four in the whole world after US, China, and Japan. Not just that, students who later apply to public universities, they can take advantage of zero tuition fees. Yes, you heard me right. There is no tuition fees if you are looking to apply to public universities in Germany. Alongside that, many international students applying to Germany can also gain opportunity of learning German language irrespective of the program that they have opted for. So if they're studying the German program, they anyways have to learn the language. But if you're studying an English program, you still can learn the language and get the opportunity to interact with several German citizens as well as international citizens, as there is a huge international diversity in Germany. Followed by these advantages, we have some more advantages where in Germany they have a strong international collaboration and connections with industries, offering numerous internship opportunities. For example, if you look at private universities have one semester, they have Erasmus programs where students can spend one semester abroad in any of their partner universities, be it in Europe or in UK or US. And Germany being the strategic center of Europe, it is surrounded by several popular, well-known countries like Netherlands, Belgium, Luxembourg, where students can again visit if they wish to, or even later go and migrate to. Followed by this, we have excellent post-study opportunities. So students completing their bachelor's and master's can stay back in Germany for up to 18 months. And within these 18 months, they can take advantage of, they can either look for job opportunities, like a permanent job, or if they have a job already, they can get the experience that they require and then apply for permanent residence. After just 2 years, students are eligible to apply for permanent residence. So there are two cases. If students have completed their 2 years of work experience and they have a German language proficiency of B1 level, they can get their permanent residency within the next 21 months. But if they do not have German language proficiency, then students can get their permanent residency in 36 months. So these are some of the most popular common reasons as to why international students would prefer Germany as their preferred destination. Now, coming to the next slide, these are some of the Gyanberry partner network universities in Germany. As you can see on the slide, you'll find some University of Applied Sciences like FH Aachen University, SRH Berlin University of Applied Sciences. You'll also find some private universities with great international collaborations like International School of Management, also called ISM. We have IUBH, Lancaster University, etc. And you can see some student colleges and language schools. So for students who do not exactly know the difference between a student college and language school, do not worry. In the coming slides, we have information that will clear your doubts. Now, many of us think that, okay, Germany is only well known for engineering programs and automobile related programs. Now, when you see the slide, yes, you'll be happy to know that automotive and industry is one of the highest earning revenue industry in Germany. But we cannot ignore the other industries. On the screen, you can see that the automotive industry offers 436. It has around 436 billion euros revenue every year, followed by healthcare industry, which is the next most popular industry in Germany, then followed by information system technology, mechanical engineering, chemical and pharmaceutical, and electrical engineering. Basically, there is scope for everyone for those who are looking to come and study in Germany. These are some of the most popular fields of study for all of the students who wish to come to Germany and pursue their further education. You can find all popular programs like automobile engineering, mechanical engineering, computer science, business, medicine, economics, commerce, pure science. Now, for the students whose programs are not on the slide, that doesn't mean that Germany doesn't offer your program. If you would like to, know more about the program and the offering, I would request you to kindly contact the counselors of Gyanberry so that we can explain the scope of program to you. Next, it is very important for us to know about the different types of higher education available in Germany. As you see on the screen, we have three different kinds of higher education institutes. We have Technical University, University of Applied Sciences, and College of Arts and Music. So, Technical University is more theory based. They are majorly into research, and we've given an example of Technical University of Munich. So, for all the students who are looking into getting into research or any programs that require a lot of research, you know what you're looking at. The second one is the University of Applied Sciences, which is more practice oriented. These universities make you more industry ready. And we've given an example of FH Aachen University of Applied Sciences, which is the number one ranking university according to the CHE ranking. And then lastly is the College of Arts for Music, Arts and Music. This is for all the students out there who are, having a creative part to them, and they're looking for more design-related programs, film and creative-related programs, and not interested in technical. I've given an example of HBKSN University. This is a private university that we have in Germany. Now, I have discussed that we have a lot of international students applying to Germany. Now, you might be wondering as to where are all of these students applying to? Are they all applying to public universities? Because why not? They are free of cost. But in the slides, in the graphs that you see on the slide, on the left side of the slide, you will be able to see two different statistics. One statistics talks about international students applying to various technical universities. So you see that there is a good number of international students, almost crossed 1.5 million, that are applying to different technical universities. Whereas if you compare it with the University of Applied Sciences, you will see that there is a rapid growth over the years for and rapid growth as well as demand for international students for the University of Applied Sciences. This simply means that students are not only looking for technical universities, but they're also looking for universities which are more practice oriented and which give you more hands-on experience. The graph on the right side is majorly highlighting the number of students at private higher education institutes in Germany. Now, when students are applying to Germany, it is very obvious that, okay, many of them are going to be applying to public universities because who wouldn't want to study for free in Germany? But but it's not just the public universities that international students are looking at. In general, everyone that are applying to Germany, they're mainly looking at the high quality of education that Germany has to offer to international students, as well as the exposure that they get. And this is indeed what you can see on the graph. In the graph, we are able to see that there is a very good growth of international students applying to the private universities. Why? Because all of these universities have excellent international collaborations, high quality education, and very good exposure when it comes to industry experience. So while in my previous slides I was talking about public and private university, I would like to elaborate a little bit on each of them. So when it comes to public universities, we know it's that students want to apply to public universities because it's free of cost. But we need to keep in mind that because these institutes are free of cost, they come with high level of competition. There's a lot of big number of students that want to apply to public university. So the competition is high and the requirements are high. So we need to make sure that we are meeting them. As well as many of the German universities, the public German universities are taught in German language. You will find very few universities taught in English language. As well as many of these universities have limited collaboration, limited international collaboration. Why? Because these public universities are government based and their main focus is the German economy. So they are preparing students to be industry ready for the German companies. And they also have opportunities of part-time and post-study work permit. So if you finish in a public university, you very well can work part-time. You very well can stay back for 18 months and look for a job or get experience if you have a job. Now, on the other hand, you see private universities. In the case of private universities, there definitely is a tuition fee. It is not free of cost. You will have to pay a minimum amount. The range of tuition fees shall be covered in the upcoming slides. However, the excellent part about applying to private university is that you can apply to it without any German language knowledge. You do not require any German language knowledge. You can study completely in English, hassle free, and it is very well recognized and accredited, just like how the public universities are. Plus, there is less competition. Now, when I say less competition, it's not because the quality of these universities are low. It's just because the total number of students applying is a little bit less in comparison to the public universities. But otherwise, the quality is completely high, of high standards, and they also have international collaborations. Many of our private universities have partner universities in other countries in Europe, like in Netherlands or Czech Republic or even UK, US, etc., where you can opt to take one semester of your studies outside and get exposure of two different countries. Apart from the above highlighted differences, the part-time and post-study work permit remain the same for both public and private universities. So students applying through public or private get the same advantage. You can get to work part-time, you get to stay back. There is no difference at all. Thank you very much for your attention. I would like to now pass on the presentation to Mr. Tejas, who will take you through the admission requirements and the next steps for Germany. Thank you.
Thank you, Pooja. I just want to inform everyone that this is not the end of the presentation. We are just midway. I'll be taking it forward from here. I'm sure after listening to Pooja, all of you are super excited to study in Germany. I think whatever reasons you knew already, probably Pooja has given you now more reasons to choose Germany as your destination for higher education. Now, the biggest question students have is, how do I get into a German university? Right? There are so many benefits for me as a student. Now, how do I get in? Do not worry, I'm here to help you. We will go step by step. So firstly, this slide is addressed for students who are looking to study bachelor's program in German universities. Here is the steps or so-called framework or process that you can follow when applying to German universities. Firstly, any student needs to see or evaluate whether they meet the minimum academic qualification or not. It is obvious that you are currently in the high school or might have graduated from the high school recently. German universities have specific requirements for each curriculum. Say, for example, you are in a British school, you are following A-level curriculum, or you are in an Indian school, following a CBSE or ICSE curriculum. German universities have specific requirements for each of the curriculum. So your first step would be to check, do you meet the minimum academic qualifications required by the German universities? If you do, that's the good news. You have cleared the first hurdle. So I'm going to go with the left side of the slide first. So imagine you meet the minimum qualification requirement. Now what happens next? You need to Evaluate whether you meet the language requirements. So as Pooja mentioned, German universities also offers program in English, right? So if the program is in English, then it's obvious you need to meet the English language proficiency. If the program is in German, and assuming you do not know any German already, then you need to start learning the German language. And if you learn the German language and you achieve the C1 level, which is the second last level of the German language, you should be qualified to, apply to the German university teaching program in German language, right? And that's your last hurdle. So first is the minimum academic qualification, and second is the language. Now let's look at the right side of this slide. In case you do not meet the minimum academic qualification, then in that case, students have to go for a preparatory course, so-called the Studienkolleg in German universities or in private preparatory institutes, which will prepare you to a level that you have enough academic qualification and enough language proficiency, depending on the language of instruction of the course, to qualify you for the admissions. So once you complete the Studienkolleg, you will have a test called as FSP, Feststellungsprüfung, and you pass the test and you will be eligible to get into a German university. So this is the process or the framework any student can follow, both for private as well as for government universities. Having said that, the private universities might have lenient requirements as compared to the state universities, because private universities take the decisions by themselves, they're autonomous. So you might have slight leniency when applying to the private universities. Now, let's look at the master's program. For master's program, it's not that complex. If you have done a bachelor's degree in a relevant discipline, which is for 3 years at least, if you have done a 4 years degree, say from an American university, even better for you. But German universities themselves offer a 3 years bachelor's degree. So if you have done in your home country 3 years bachelor's degree, ideally speaking, you should be eligible for all German universities to apply for master's program. As we all know, German universities are competitive because of the benefits that they offer. The number of applications, as Pooja mentioned, is increasing every year. So higher the GPA, better it is. We always recommend students to maintain at least first class or a distinction throughout the 3 years of their university studies, not just the final years. In some cases, the universities may require students to have like a prior internship or prior relevant work experience. For example, MBA. Most of the proper MBA programs do not accept students directly after undergraduate studies. They expect you to have at least 1 to 2 years of work experience. And some universities, especially engineering universities, also do require GRE. This might come as a news for students why Germany is asking for GRE. GRE is predominantly an exam for American or Canadian universities. But you will see now more and more German universities are asking for GRE scores for highly competitive programs. I wouldn't say for all, for highly competitive engineering programs, they've started to ask for GRE results so that they're able to select the best candidates. In case 2 candidates are having the same GPA in their undergraduate degree, then the GRE score can be one of the differentiating factors. Similarly, some MBA schools, top MBA schools in Germany are also asking for a GMAT score along with your work experience. So it depends university to university. Some universities might not even ask for these standardized test results. And then you need to, of course, prove your proficiency in English, which you can prove by giving the IELTS or TOEFL examination. Or in certain cases, if your university has taught you the undergraduate program completely in English, so a letter from the university might also suffice. This is again might. Some universities might accept as a proof of English. In that case, you do not have to give the IELTS or TOEFL. And then if you're applying for a German language program, it is obvious that you need to prove your German language proficiency. So ideally, you should have at least B2 level of German language proficiency when you're applying for German taught programs. And if you have C1, ideally, you should fully meet the requirements. Now, let's look at the levels of the German language. So as I mentioned, in the requirements for the bachelor studies as well as master studies, if the program is in German, so you need to learn German. For those who don't know or haven't started learning the German language yet, this slide will very well explain you what are the levels of the German language, how it is structured and how long will it take. Long story short, if you do a full-time course as a beginner, you start learning German without knowing any alphabet or any grammar of German language. Ideally, it should take you 10 months to 12 months if you go to an institute which is teaching you full-time every day, 3 to 5 hours. If you go for a part-time course, it might take you even longer. So as you might have figured out already, the A1 means the beginner level, and the C1 and the C2 level means the native speaker level, which means you can speak and understand German at the same level as a native German citizen. So for German taught programs, ideally you should have at least a C1 level of German language certificate to be fully eligible to German universities. And again, if the program is entirely in English, the universities do not ask German language proficiency, from you. When you join the university, you can take classes as per your wish to learn the German language. Right. So now, how do you learn the German language? How do you, what are the kind of student college options available for you? So this slide will make it clear for you. So student colleagues are predominantly for the undergraduate applicants. So as I mentioned, if you do not qualify for year one entry of a German university, then the student colleagues prepare you for the university studies. So in the student college, there are two components. They teach you the German language and also the academic subjects. Say, for example, I want to go for engineering. They're going to teach me mathematics, physics, chemistry, science subjects needed to get into a German university, right? Some student colleagues have a guaranteed progressions. Maybe, for example, I'm studying, say, in University of Munich. They might tell me, again, I'm using the word might, it depends on the program that you're going for. They might tell me that, okay, if I complete the student college in TU Munich, and if I pass the student college, I might get a guaranteed progression to a certain program within TU Munich, right? And some student colleagues are open-ended, wherein they just provide you the necessary qualification. They provide you the FSP test, you pass the FSP test, and then you decide which university you want to apply for. So it depends from student college to student college. Some provide you a guaranteed progression, which I'm going to talk in the next slide, and some provide you just the qualification required to apply to any university. Student colleagues in public universities, they are free of charge, just like the undergraduate programs if you go to a public university. And there are private student colleagues as well, which are paid. Public student colleagues require you to at least have B2 level of proficiency before you apply to the student college, whereas private student colleagues might even accept you without knowing any German. They will prepare you on the German language and then teach you the academic subjects. And another thing about the private student college is they also have an English taught track wherein you can learn even the student college in English and also the undergraduate program in English. Again, I will talk about it in brief in the coming slides. Now, talking about the language schools, as the name suggests, their focus is on preparing students for the German language skills. Assuming that you meet the university academic qualifications for applying to that university, you are just lacking the language skills. So in that case, you might end up choosing the language school, which will prepare you on the German language skills. And German language schools do not provide any guaranteed progression. Their job, their goal is just to teach you the German language, give you that German language certificate. And most of the German language schools, be it a university or be it private language schools, they charge you a fee. Yeah, so I hope that's clear. Now let's a little bit deep dive into the different courses taught in student college, right? So this is very, very important. So depending on what program you want to study at the university, you should choose the student college track accordingly. So firstly, there is an M course. It is for students who want to get into health sciences that prepares you for medicine, dentistry, and other allied health science programs. And then there is a T course, which prepares you for technical courses, say for engineering programs. Then there is W course, which focuses on preparing students for business, economics, finance, and related programs. And then there is a G course, which prepares students on social studies and humanities. So you should be very careful what student college track that you should choose, because you cannot change from M track to T track. Like you cannot do an M course and then say, I want to go for engineering. It doesn't work that way, because your subjects, as you can see in the last row, the subjects taught in each student college are different. Now I want to talk about a very popular student college which Gyanberry has been working with over the last 8 to 10 years, and hundreds of students are studying at this student college. Firstly, it's a non-funded student college in a government university. So it's a very, very unique program. Again, I repeat, it's a not state funded, which means you have to pay a fees, but it is part of a government university, which is the biggest advantage. Number one. Second, this particular student college is called as freshman year, and they do not require students to have a prior knowledge of German. A big, big advantage. As you might recollect, I mentioned that all the public universities require you to have at least B2 level of German to apply to the student college. But the freshman program at the FA Aachen University of Applied Sciences do not require you to have any prior German language. They just examine you on mathematics because it's an applied sciences university, it's a technical university. They examine you on maths and they examine you on English to at least know that you can speak and write one language. There's no IELTS required. You don't need prior German language. And another important thing is the German language training and the academic student college is combined in 1 year. Again, as you might recollect from my previous slides, just to learn the German language, it takes 12 months. And then another student college takes 1 more year. So that's roughly 1 + 1, 2 years of preparatory studies. But in FA Aachen, they have combined it as an intensive program, right? So you save that 1 year. On top of that, they have a guaranteed progression to their partner university. So as you can see on the left bottom, you can have a guaranteed progression to University of Duisburg Essen, which is a research university. So for those who are interested in research university, they can go to University of Duisburg, or they can stay back at the FA Aachen University, which is an applied sciences university. The details of what progression courses are available on our site. Of course, you can get in touch with us and we will tell you the list of programs. But roughly the popular programs are like mechanical engineering, structural engineering, biomedical engineering, business of informatics. So there are some traditional as well as modern programs which you will get guaranteed. So the only thing you need to do is pass the entrance test on mathematics and English, and you are all set. You are guaranteed admission to the freshman program and then further guaranteed admission to the university. And then you can enjoy all the benefits after graduation that Germany has to offer to you. Another important thing I want to announce about FA Aachen is the entrance exams are happening every month. So you can apply for the upcoming exam. For those students who are in the final year of the high school, you can apply for the upcoming exam in January, February, March, like continuously. I think right until April, we have exam terms. You can give this online exam. And it's the authorized, Gyanberry is the authorized partner of FA Aachen. So we provide you free assistance on the entire application and examination process. Now let's look at the popular options for private universities. So there are 2 universities on your screen here. On the left side in orange color is the SRH University, which is an applied sciences university, which is focused on engineering, business, and some modern programs. And then on the right side is the International School of Management, which is a business school focused on business programs. So what are the advantages of private universities? One is there is direct entry. In most cases, they do not require you to do the student college or any preparatory programs. They're slightly lenient as compared to the public university. That doesn't mean they will take everyone. They also have some standard requirements which you need to meet, but they will be lenient as compared to going to a public university. So you save that 1 to 2 years of the preparation time and as well as money. Right? At the same time, they offer you modern programs. So if you look at SRH, they offer business, computer science, design, media and communication, and they have engineering, design and film. Whereas if you look at ISM, they offer the traditional management program, international management, finance, information systems, right? And you will get the same benefits what you will get after graduating from a public university, which is a post-study work permit, and you'll have the same rights for permanent residence or citizenship after you graduate. So there is not much difference in terms of accreditation and opportunities, irrespective you graduate from public and private university, right? The fees, of course, private universities charge a fees. They don't have funding from the government, but they're not as expensive as UK or Canada or USA even. So if you see on the screen, the minimum value I can see myself on the left side is 8,000 euro, on the maximum is 12,960 euro. So that roughly boils down to 40,000 to 50,000 dirhams per year, and plus the living cost. So these are just examples. And when it comes to public universities, there are more than 160 public universities. It's difficult to give examples of all of them, but that of course option is there, and we can help you with those options as well. So we wanted to give an idea of a public student college, a private university, and also talk a bit about the public universities as well. Right, and very, very important thing now, let's talk about the deadlines and the tuition fees. Firstly, there is no like fixed deadline. It all depends university to university. There is only a fixed deadline, I would say, for public universities, which is 15th of July for the September intake. But that's the last deadline. You can apply even before that. And private universities, I would say also their deadlines will end by June, July, but they have admissions on the rolling basis. So it doesn't mean you have to wait till June, July. Even now you can submit your applications. Student colleagues also, they recommend applying latest by June, but again, they have admissions on the rolling basis. As I mentioned about FARC in freshman year, they have entrance exams every month, so you can just apply for any term that is suitable for you. Language schools also are again open round the year. Here we have mentioned May, so that you have enough time to get your admission letter from the language school and thereby the visa process. So if you see there is hardly like 2 to 3 months in between your start date and your application deadline. So we recommend applying as early as possible. For master's applicants, the deadline is slightly earlier in advance because Germany has higher competition for master's program for international students. So that's why the average, I would say, deadline will be March for the September intake. Now, summarizing the tuition fees, already Pooja emphasized a lot that, public university have zero tuition fee. So I hope that's clear. One thing students should know that there is a semester contribution fee in public universities. So you might end up paying around up to maximum 1,500 euro to the university as your annual semester contribution. And private universities, as I explained in previous slides, the fees can range anywhere between 10,000. Even there are some universities below 10,000 and can go up to max 18 to 20,000 euros per year. Student colleagues, the average range will be between 10 to 20,000 euro. But again, there are a lot more cheaper student colleague options as well, which can start with 6,000, 7,000 euros. So you can take this with a pinch of salt. And language schools, they charge you based on the number of levels of German that you want to study. For example, if you've done A1 or A2 already, and you want to go for B1, B2, C1, then they charge you per level. And this is the average fees, which is 2,000 to 5,000 euro per level of the German language. One more cost, which is not mentioned here, I want to tell everyone, is the living. On top of mind of all the students. So in Germany, the annual living cost is average 10,000 euro, right? That's the amount a German embassy expects you to have for your visa application, 10,000 euro per year. This will suffice you for everything, like a shared accommodation in the university, health insurance, books, food, and everything. So for example, you go to a private university, you need to budget, say, 10,000 euro for the fees and 10,000 euro for the living expense. So altogether, 20,000 euro per year. Now, lastly, why you should consider applying to German universities through Gyanberry. Firstly, we are the authorized representatives. As Pooja shared in the previous slide, we work with a lot of German private and public universities as their local office for the Middle East and India. So we have direct contact with the university and can simplify the process for you. And we have over 10 years experience in dealing with not only German admissions, but also for study visas. And so far, we have a 100% success rate when it comes to the visa applications. And I can proudly say that. And we have helped thousands of students, not hundreds, counseling and applying to German universities. What are other steps? How we help the student? So first step is the counseling and profile assessment. We first understand you. Who are you? What is your budget? What are your long-term career goals? What do you want to study? So that is the most important and critical part. Secondly, we help you with the university planning. So based on your profile, what are the best fit universities for you? Which universities you should strongly consider and which you should not consider at all, right? So that you do not waste your time, you do not have wrong goals in your mind. Third, we help you with the application submission. Especially when it comes to the public university, application process is complex, is not as straightforward as, say, Canadian or UK universities. And I'm sure many of you have already tried that out. So we simplify the application submission for you based on the years of experience that we have. The last second step we help students is, the finalizing the admission offers. Suppose you get lucky, you apply to 5 universities and all 5 give an offer. Now, which one you should go for? We will help you break down what are the pros and cons of each university and which is the best one for you that you should go ahead with. And lastly, we help you with the study visa application, because that's the last goal. You have got the offer, now you want to be in the university. So we make that possible. We counsel students on the study visa application checklist. We thoroughly check your documents. We prepare you for the interview, that will be held with the German embassy, and help you submit a successful application. Once you have joined the university, once you are successful, then we feel we are successful as well. So that's the steps, Gyanberry takes. Along with our counselors, we also have a network of alumni, which are called as super mentors. It's a program run by Gyanberry to establish connection between potential applicants and the senior students of the universities, not even senior students, even the alumni students graduating from universities, sharing their experience with the potential applicants, because they have sailed through that boat, they have been there, they have done that, so they have some valuable tips and experiences to share with all of you. So in the Super Mentor program, you can directly have a Zoom call, one-to-one Zoom call with the students, in this case of German universities. In the next slide, you will see some of the super mentors that we have, which are from different nationalities, different countries, and studying at different universities. So there is, like, you can see Adam is from FA, and Abdul Rahman is at the University of Duisburg, Fatima is with Hochschule Worms, studying different programs, different nationalities. So whoever you can feel related with, oh, this is, I have a similar profile, you can, book a session on our website, gyanberry.com/supermentor. So they can bring invaluable, advice to you to help you apply to German universities. So this is a unique program run by Gyanberry. Now, I'm sure you have very, very specific queries, for your specific requirements and your scenario. So we recommend students to book a personalized one-to-one session with us. All you need to do is just hit to gyanberry.com, click on book an appointment, and either you can come down to our office or we can have a Zoom call session with you, because it's impossible to understand everything about you in this webinar. The idea was to give you as much information as possible and then personalize it even more during the session that we have with you. On behalf of Pooja, myself, and the entire team of Gyanberry, I would like to once again thank you for taking out the time to be part of this webinar, and we hope that it was useful for you. We have posted a small poll on the screen since a few minutes back. If you could just spare 1 second to click on the experience that you had today, it will be very helpful for us to improve next time. With that, I wish you all a nice day and a great weekend ahead. Thank you so much.